Hey, online coach, are you suffering with imposter syndrome? This is the way that I help my clients overcome their inner imposter.
The question that I'm commonly asked is, how do you overcome your inner imposter? And while I can give you all the strategies and all the things to help you really silence that inner critic, something that I want you to know is that imposter syndrome comes up at different levels of your business. Every time you up level, you're going to experience another thought, another feeling, another experience of, is anybody going to care about what I'm doing, and is what I'm doing legit, and who am I to do this? And I recently had an experience with a client in which she had just signed like her first high ticket paying client, and she was so excited, and she had thoughts of imposter syndrome coming up, and this is how we actually worked through that. First thing we did was separate her voice from her inner imposter. So the thoughts that she was having, all the negative thoughts of who am I to do this, who would pay me for this, those were separated into the thoughts of her inner imposter who we had already given a name. Now that we had separated her voice from her inner imposter's voice, I asked her to respond back to her inner imposter with compassion for herself. Usually when we're having these negative thoughts, we don't stop and think, but what am I doing right? How am I doing a good job during this? So I really wanted her to show herself that compassion, and it's almost like self-soothing, especially because a lot of our fears and a lot of our worries come from our needs that weren't met as children. We then played worst case scenario, which so many people are afraid to do because they think it's inviting the worst case scenario in, when really it's just bringing light to your brain that even if this happens, you're going to be okay, because 99.9% of the time your worst case scenario is nowhere near going to happen. And again, even if it does, you're building that resiliency from the exposure, and you're always learning something new. And lastly, I gave her permission to celebrate. People with imposter syndrome really have a hard time celebrating because they're always waiting for the other shoe to drop, or they always believe that they are not worthy of the stuff that happened, so they have to keep achieving, keep doing, keep knowing more. So when you have a big win like this, when you sign a high ticket client, celebrate the hell out of that before you do anything else. Things are pretty straightforward, right? You're reading them and you're like, I can totally do that. But the thing is you are being deconditioned when you overcome your imposter syndrome. For years, you have been conditioned to wait for the other shoe to drop, to achieve more, to do more, to listen to your negative thoughts about yourself and take them as truth. So this process is actually deconditioning you from years and years of being conditioned to think and act and behave a certain way.